So over the past week, we got a lot of good news, but we also got some bad news as well. Because if you remember, if you watched any of my old videos about, I want to say a week ago at this time, I made a video titled EA Sports Bringing Back a Basketball Game. And in that video, I talked about possible games that EA could bring back, from SSX Tricky to Fight Night to Def Jam, etc, etc. I explained in that video why I believed that it wasn't going to be certain games. And I also explained in that video why I think it's not going to be NBA Live. And also in that video, I said that we would see what it was going to be around July 20th, because that's around the time the EA Play comes out. And that's coming from a guy by the name of Brian Mazik. He's supposed to be, I guess, a journalist slash YouTuber. I don't really know. I saw it on Twitter, so that's where I, found him from. But I clicked on his video and I actually saw something that he said about NBA Live that I thought was very interesting. So in the video, he basically is talking about why he believes NBA Live is not going to come back. He gives detailed analysis and all that stuff. As a matter of fact, rather than me give y'all play-by-play on what he said, I'm gonna just roll the clip for y'all so I can see for y'allself. So yeah, let's roll the clip.
But I'm gonna talk about why it's not NBA Live first.
Alright, so everything y'all that's heard up to now is from the past, and this is in the present right now, at the time of this recording rather. So in this video, before I had to scrap this whole idea because some clown lied about what was going to be at EA Play, I was going to end up hitting Brian Mazik on the screen to explain about why NBA Live wasn't going to be at EA Play, and explain what was going to be at EA Play instead of, the big announcement or whatever. But instead of, having that whole idea of what I was going to say was going to be at EA Play, because of the fact that everything you've heard in this video is now old and obsolete and no longer relevant because we passed July 20th at the time you're recording this part of the video, then instead I'm going to keep the part of the video where I talked about why NBA Live 22 is not coming back anytime soon, because again, that part's still relevant. And Brian Mazik does make points about that as well. So I'm still going to keep some parts about what Brian Mazik says about Live 22 not coming back anytime soon. However, again, the parts about EA Play is no longer relevant because we're past July 20th at the time of this recording. So him talking about Live 22 in terms of EA Play has been cut out. However, him talking about NBA Live in general not coming back, like I said, is still relevant. So just to, give y'all some more clarity so y'all won't be confused, the freeze frame right now is from the present of me talking right now, and everything else in this video is from the past. So when it unfreezes, it's from the past, right now it's the present. So yeah, just thought I'd let y'all know that. But anyway, on to the video.
A lot of you guys know that they hired Rob Jones as well, and he works at EA. I have learned that the entire Live team has been broken up.
Brian Mazik goes on to talk about why just because Scott O'Gallagher is back at EA Sports doesn't mean that it's NBA Live that he's working on.
My thought and belief, based off of what I'm hearing, is that he's not doing basketball at all. As a matter of fact, he is actually working on the EA's new college football game. That's from a variety of different places and a variety of people that I've talked to are telling me that that's the deal, that Scott is actually working on college football and he's going to be kind of heading that project, which is another reason why that live return is not going to be it.
So as far as my take on this, I'm believing Brian Mazik because the man Brian Mazik is pretty credible from what I've seen so far from my research that I've done. So he seems to be right. I trust what he says. I think that Scott O'Gallagher actually is working on a college football game, and as you just heard, Brian Mazik said that he heard that from multiple people, so I can see why they would all be wrong on that. And after you just heard that, don't get worried because it does get worse. Also, Brian Mazik said the NBA Live was going to be a free-to-play option. Listen for yourself.
And this is, like I said, it's coming from more than one person, is that they thought that they were about ready to bring Live out. Live was going to be brought out. It was either this year or last year. I believe it was, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. And there was a thought that it was going to be brought out as a free-to-play option.
So from what I can get from that is, if they brought it out last year around 2020, then that means that the devs would have actually tried for 22 because of competition. And if it was brought out for this year, then that means that 2K will still try harder to update and patch 2K22. And if they couldn't patch it, we can just go and play NBA Live 22 instead. That means 22 is not going to be as good because the devs going to be lazy because there's no competition. Also, if that wasn't bad enough, then listen to this.
And the NBA came back to them and said, well, we don't, because they were going to release it around the same time 2K is supposed to release in September. But the NBA said, well, no, we don't want a free-to-play option to come out at the same time that 2K comes out, because that could hurt 2K sales. Now, this is the NBA talking. This is not 2K. This is NBA talking. A lot of people do not realize how much of an impact the actual leagues, so we're talking about NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, has on what happens with these games.
So does that mean that instead of blaming Ronnie 2K for 2K being bad, we gotta blame the NBA instead now? I don't know, man. Now, but in all seriousness, Brian Mazik went on to say that the NBA didn't want NBA Live to come out for free at the same time as 2K in September for whatever reason. He then went on to say that NBA Live was going to say, you know what, we'll come out with a free-to-play NBA Live game in either the fall, which is around Christmas time, but that would be bad because Christmas time is around the time that people are buying a lot of games, and as a result, EA would get overlooked. So then they thought about bringing out the next NBA Live the following year around All-Star Weekend, which is in February. But then allegedly, supposedly, I don't know if I can say really allegedly or not, I think it's really more so true, but he said that all of a sudden, the people that work at NBA Live was called into a meeting, and in the meeting they were told that NBA Live is done, it's not coming out for whatever reason. I guess because they waited too late to actually try to bring it out and they thought it would be too late at that time. Even though I thought that would be the perfect time myself because like Brian Mazik said, that's around the time where 2K fatigue was setting for a lot of people, so they would look for a new game to play as in a new basketball game. So it didn't make sense to me why I would just, end it at that time and say, forget NBA Live. We're not bringing out a new NBA Live at all. See what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna show y'all the last little bit of what Brian Mazik said. Then I'm gonna come back at the end and give my opinion.
If you're expecting to see Live announced, not only are you probably not going to see Live announced, you probably might never see Live again. I don't know why necessarily. Maybe it's just too much to try to recover. But everything that I've told you is what I've heard from multiple places. But if you just think about what I just told you, there's some, it makes sense. If you start to kind of put it all together, it kind of makes sense, right?
Now, at the end, he said that what he heard could have been somewhat misconstrued, but for the most part, the gist of what he heard was correct. Or at least that's what I got from what he said. Because again, I believe what he said is mostly true. And to elaborate on what I mean by mostly true is, I believe the part about NBA Live not coming out this year, not being at EA Play, but I don't believe the part about him saying that we might not see NBA Live ever again. I think NBA Live is gonna come back in like Live 23, if not this year, or Live 24. Because if you've been following NBA Live for the past 10 years, they like to take frequent hiatuses and then come back later. So I couldn't see why that wouldn't be the case. So yeah, Live 23 or Live 24 is when they're gonna come back, if not this year at EA Play. But it's highly unlikely for this year, which is why I said at the beginning of the video that I feel like this is 95% true, or I'm 95% believing what he said, because it's not 100%. He said that it could be at EA Play and they could just change their mind and just have not told anybody, not released any information. But hopefully they are wrong, because if they're not, that means 2K22 is going to be just like 2K21 and 20, and it's going to be a bad game. Because for 2K22, this is the last chance. There's 3 strikes and you out. I say that a million times in my videos, and I always say that. So there's 3 strikes and you out for 2K. If Live 22 doesn't come out at EA Play on July the 20th, it's over for 22, I believe. And I would love to be wrong. I would love for NBA 2K22 to not have to rely on NBA Live being out to have competition for the game to be good. Because I'm pretty sure that Live is not going to be at EA Play. And this guy's right with what he said about how NBA Live is not coming back. Well, at least for EA Play. So anyway, you guys, that's gonna do it for my video. I appreciate y'all for watching the video. Like the video if you agree with anything I said, or if you was informed about anything that you didn't know about already. And also subscribe if you're brand new and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a video in the future. By the way, follow my social media, link down below in the description. So follow my socials down below. And also you guys, if you want to catch all things 2K, all the news, updates and everything like that, and also catch gameplay info about when the game comes out, and patches and tutorials and all that stuff, stay tuned and subscribe for that as well. So with that being said, you guys, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.